Hello, my name is Kent Smack. I am CEO of ESM Software, and I'm pleased to share with you the WebAccountPlus integrated version of ESM for helping consultants and advisories manage their strategy. What I want to take you through over the next few minutes is how that consultant and advisor would support the customer with both building out their strategy as well as providing guidance and establishing an ongoing long-term relationship with that customer around their strategy execution. To start, I have logged in to the landing page or home page within ESM strategy. And this is where the advisor and consultant is able to begin the process. If the customer does not have a strategy, they would move into the formulation stage where they would establish one. If that customer already has a set of business objectives, measures, and initiatives, they would immediately move into building their scorecard. So let's quickly take you through the process of creating that strategy for an organization and how that consultant and advisor would do such, as well as then move into the reporting and the execution of the strategy where we're really trying to get our customers, and that's the engagement. So fully integrated within the WebAccountPlus environment, we can have data integration and flows between the various WebAccountPlus modules so we can have that data populate. We use best practice templates to help accelerate an organization's journey within ESM strategy. So let's get started. As that advisor or consultant, we can move into the strategy formulation stage. As part of strategy formulation, we think of this as really a 6-step process. Define the organization's mission, vision, values, complete a pastel analysis, which is a macro level examination of the political, economic, social, and technology, as well as environmental and legal factors that might impact that organization, conduct a Porter's 5 forces, a SWOT analysis, moving into a change agenda where we begin to link and align and establish those objectives, measures, and initiatives for the organization. That then moves us out of the strategy formulation stage into the build step. So let's quickly run through these. These exercises are very simple, very easy to follow. We can quickly capture mission, vision, core value statements. We have examples of what good mission statements, good vision statements look like. So we are supporting that advisor as part of helping the customer build these out. Moving from mission, vision, values, we can then move into the pastel analysis, where we look through the different lenses and begin to build out criteria, analysis, right, around these different influences against the business. From there, we can then move into the Porter's 5 forces. We don't require any consultant or advisor to go through each one of these steps. It is entirely up to that organization and that advisor if they want to carry their customer through these various exercises. These are all proven best practice exercises. And here we're showing Porter's 5 forces. We can easily jump in and begin editing, threat of entrance, bargaining power of suppliers, competitive rivalry within the industry, bargaining power of buyers, and threat of substitutes, beginning to capture the criteria and define out that customer through these different strategy formulation lenses. The SWOT analysis is a favorite amongst advisors and consultants, where we begin building out the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And we do that under the notion of a balanced scorecard business perspective lens. So through the financial lens, what are the SWOT? Customer, right? Through the customer experience, what the customer is looking for when that business is supporting that customer. Internally, how do we manage the business? And then from a talent and technology, human capital, organizational capital, knowledge sharing perspective. Beginning to think a little bit more broadly outside of just financial indicators in terms of what the SWOT should really be. That then moves us into this final step of the formulate strategy, which is the change agenda. And the change agenda is where you begin to establish, right, your shifts, your organizational decisions that you're going to make to consciously shift the organization. So from, for example, a customer relationship perspective, how are we shifting that organization? So right now, we might think of our customer relationship as more transactional, for example. And how are we trying to shift over the next several years as part of the implementation of this strategy? We can make this a longer term solutions focused. So this is where we're trying to migrate and move that customer to shift from a transactional business standpoint to where we are maintaining longevity with them. And as part of building these change agenda criteria out, we can then assign them to objectives, measures, and initiatives. So we are directly connecting the PESTEL, the Porter's Five Forces, the SWOT, the mission, vision, values into the strategy change agenda, where we then are making a conscious decision to move the organization in this new direction. And then the final step in strategy formulation is linking it to that objective, measure, and initiative. So as part of this process, we could link it to ensure satisfied customers. So now we've created a linkage from the formulation activities right into now the ongoing balanced scorecard, objectives, measures, and initiatives. And that's the connection we're making. So from formulate strategy, once we've gone through these exercises, we can then move the customer into the building of the scorecard. In the construction of the scorecard, this is the executable document. We're moving from the strategic planning stage into the strategy execution stage, and this becomes the executable framework from which they move forward to evaluate the performance of their business over time. So as part of that, we have business perspectives, which I've introduced as financial, customer, internal, as well as talent and technology. We have business objectives. These are what are also commonly referred to as goals or strategies for a business. They are action-oriented statements about what we are trying to achieve: maximize profit, grow revenue, manage costs, ensure satisfied customers, execute marketing plans. So sample of those objectives are very action-oriented. And then we put in place the measures to tell us whether or not we're achieving that objective. And we need to have one key lag measure. These templates are already pre-populated with best practices from which the advisor and consultant can then further refine and edit to meet the unique needs of your customer. In addition to the measures, when we move into some of these lower perspectives, the customer internal, we start to see initiatives. These are projects or programs that we are doing that we believe will move the dial on the measure and help us achieve that objective. That is the balanced scorecard summed up: objectives, measures, and initiatives through the lens of the perspective. As part of building out the scorecard, we can easily now begin to identify and build out owners, and we can define our objectives. We're adding in key criteria, and we can easily add new measures, add new initiatives. You point and click as part of building out and constructing the scorecard. We have intentionally built this as a very simple framework so that the advisor is able to easily bring that customer through this process and have an established, defined strategy from which you can then regularly check in with that customer over time. In addition to the scorecard, some customers like to visualize their strategy through what we call a strategy map. And a strategy map is a way in which we can visualize and articulate that strategy through cause and effect relationships. So as part of building out that strategy map, we can add in objectives directly onto the map, which basically bring the map to life. So we have just completed the formulation of our strategy and the building of our scorecard and strategy map. That now moves us into the ongoing reporting and performance of our strategy. So as part of that, we can enter performance results, and then we can track our performance through different strategy views in the system. So let's just start with an overarching high-level view of our strategy. Here's our balanced scorecard, and you can see red, yellow, green status indicators that can be automatically determined based off of the performance of the measures data and the underlying elements feeding up into it. So naturally, if we have off-track measures against our ensure satisfied customers objective, that can automatically change to red. We're able to always click in and get a quick snapshot of performance simply by clicking right on that element. We can also drill deeper into any one measure, any one initiative by clicking on the link. This is an organization strategy on one page. As part of the reporting of this strategy, you can decide with the customer what is the frequency by which you will report and update this data. And that introduces the concepts of reporting periods. Do you come together with your customer once a month, once a quarter, twice a year, once a year to establish and report out on the performance, to advise them in areas where they're falling short on their strategy, to perhaps promote alternative consulting or advisory to help them shift that area of the business out of the red and yellow and into the green. So that is the opportunity where you have the connection with the customer over time. You can track their business and you can support them in becoming successful with executing strategy. We're able to visualize, just like through the scorecard, we can visualize through the strategy map, and we can actually facilitate and drill down into the strategy right through those maps. In terms of reports, we're able to export reports out of the system. A sampling will be a full balanced scorecard report, which I can share with you right here. Here's an export right out to Excel. Here's our full balanced scorecard, and we've captured it with performance status for objectives, measures, performance analysis recommendations, as well as initiatives. So these are exportable guides and documents that we can pull right out of the system, a variety of reports, in addition to being able to PDF most pages that you're on within this environment. So how do we enter performance results? Be that the advisor entering those or consultant advisor entering those results for the customer, whether that's a direct feed from a CRM, the DCA, asset management, or any underlying analytics, or whether a user is bulk updating analysis and bulk updating data within the system. Both options are available: fully automated, semi-automated, or manual entry. We can easily select status colors if they're not automatically set for the performance of our objectives, measures, and initiatives. We can click into analysis. We can provide guidance and recommendations. These can be coming from the advisor in preparation for that strategy review discussion that we would be having with our customer. To create efficiencies, we're able to copy data forward from previous reporting periods, as well as track that performance over time. So now that we've got our analysis in, let's talk about our measures, numeric-based data. We can look at our metrics. We can track our metrics. We can view visualizations of those metrics through charts. We can have an unlimited number of charts. We're able to import data into the system. We're able to do calculations in the system. We're able to arrive at, right, that critical lag indicator in how we're performing when it comes to customer satisfaction, or when it comes to our financial productivity, or when it comes to how we're managing the internal business execution that we're doing. So very streamlined and simple bulk update fields allow us to easily go right into managing the performance results. Moving into projects, we're able to view projects over time. Those projects can be viewed through Gantt charts, through list views where we track key financials and financial spend, as well as viewed in terms of how they support the higher level objectives, the higher level strategy. So with that said, now comes time for that advisor or consultant to sit down with the customer and talk about performance. A great way to drive that discussion is through the use of dashboards. Dashboards can easily pull information together within the system. You can have a variety of dashboards built out. One such example, as part of those dashboards, is a monthly discussion item. This is an off track illustrating those areas that are performing in the red and yellow. And right from this one dashboard view, we can drive our entire discussion right with our customer. We can look at visual charts, underlying data tables and data feeds, and what's driving the business and driving it to be off track. We can automatically pull together those reds and yellows each reporting period so that we can see the overarching analysis and what our recommendations would be. This is the opportunity to support that customer not only with providing guidance in terms of how to solve the problem, but then advising them on that next step in those recommendations. At the end of the day, what we are trying to do is trying to surface key strategic insights, managing the business on the exceptions, those reds and those yellows when it comes to the objectives, the measures, as well as the underlying projects or initiatives, and to make a concerted and disciplined approach to determining the recommendations and actions that we are taking to move that strategy out of the red into the yellow and ultimately into the green. So what ESM strategy is doing is setting up and teeing up for that advisor and that consultant an executable framework called the Balanced Scorecard that establishes a roadmap for success for that organization. So through the construction, right through to building and managing the results of that scorecard, ESM brings it to life. As part of the web account module, we are supporting you with driving business success with your customers. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you online and continuing to support your customers' success with executing strategy. Take care.